Spins.
Go. Yeah. Direct it, make it, make it, make it. Go, go, go. Yeah.
What up, y'all? Welcome to Connected. I'm your host, DJ Is. If you don't already know, now you know. Welcome to Connected. This is what I would like to call episode 8+1, an extension of 8. As you all know, I wasn't here last week. I'm going to tell you all about that. So we'll go ahead and call this episode 9. For those of you who are tuning in for your first time, let me just say this is a show that gets you connected with job opportunities in film, engineering, live sound, radio broadcasting, songwriting, producing, if you're a musician. So I'm going to just tell you, if you're inspired or aspiring to be in any of those fields, this is where you want to be every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right? Because this is truly where you get connected. And the only way you get connected is here, baby, on my web jam. So check it out. For those of you that tuned in last week, I'm not going to say, unfortunately, that I wasn't able to be here, but fortunately, I was able to be here today to tell you about why I wasn't here last week. So last week, I was in Cuba. Now, how that came about was I got a call from Usher's management in regards to the White House, who they were wanting to put a group of people together, which they call delegates, to travel to Cuba to pretty much share and experience their arts, their culture, and share information and experiences. So it was a combination of the U.S. putting together our group of artists, painters, creators together to go to Cuba to meet their artists, musicians, songwriters, painters, creatives, to just intertwine and share information and shake hands and listen and jam and hang. And the experience for me was so life-changing. When I got out there, people had told me that, going to Cuba is like being in a time capsule. And I'd be like, well, what do you mean? It's like they're stuck in a specific time. So when I got out there, everybody's driving like cars from the 50s, cars from the 60s. There's no internet. There's no social media. But what I loved about it mostly was the arts are actually infused into your curriculum from childhood. So it ain't anything else but musicians, painters, songwriters, and that's what it is. So you look at how we get down here in the States, in our school systems out here, we begin to see over a period of time that the arts have been pulled out of the curriculum in school. There's no funding for it. Out there, it's mandatory. So I was like, wow, this is pretty crazy. So I'm talking to kids. I'm visiting performing arts centers. I'm visiting, various youth schools that are primarily driven by the arts. So it was an amazing trip for me. It was surreal in a sense of looking at these kids who are incredibly, incredibly talented and gifted at their instrument. Dance. I got to meet a couple of famous Cuban painters, got to go to a couple of art galleries. It was just amazing. And, it really allowed me to see just culturally how different cultures can be, but how very much similar we are as far as passion. And, I put together, of course I was out there taking tons of pictures and shooting as much film as I could, but, I wanted to present something to you guys so you can kind of just see and experience a bit of what I got to experience. And my team, I'll put something cool together for you guys, and I want to show that for you. So I hope, a lot of you are tuning in this week. All right. So check it out. So that was a little something that my squad put together for me. So, you know, when I think about what I do here for you guys, you know, in the show being called Connected, you know, I think about how this Cuba trip came about, and it really just came from, you know, being connected, but also being in a place where I've been able to, you know, to work my way through the ranks and network and meet people. And you know, it's so important for you guys who are creators and looking to get into these industries to be, you know, just to be, you know, outspoken and social and express your ideas and your creativity. Because you know what I realized, you know, when I was on this plane with all these folks who, you know, who are in the environment of the White House and you know, art organizers and everything, you know, the conversations are always led by, you know, music and creativity. And you know, this show is definitely about being connected, but more importantly, it's about just understanding how to talk to people and how to socialize and network and you know, just maneuver your way through opportunity. And you know, first and foremost, that's really what I wanted to present to you guys today. um you know, it's just the overall experience and where your drive and where your aspirations can take you. I never thought in my wildest dreams that, you know, I'd be, you know, on a chartered plane to Cuba, you know, just to share my experiences as a musician, a DJ, a songwriter, you know, with a completely different culture, a culture that I've never got to experience, you know, a landscape that I never got to step foot on. And it was just amazing. So, you know, I want you guys to definitely think about those things and take this bit of information with you today once the show's over, because it's truly important. It was an amazing experience, and like I told my son, you know, my son was even, you know, just in awe that I was going to Cuba, and I told him, I said, you know, you never know where your dreams will take you, you know, and at the end of the day, it's just about the work you put in, you know, it's about how much you love what you do and what you're passionate about, and just going for it. All right, so I just want to make sure I stress that to you guys about, you know, it's definitely about being connected, but it's also about knowing how to just be a people person and you know, sharing your creativity, because it sparks a great conversation. You never know where that conversation could take you. All right, so we're gonna move on to my favorite piece of the show, which is our grind ops. So I always tell folks, if this is your first time tuning in, make sure you get your pen, your pads, and your notes. Make sure you jot down all this information I'm going to give you, because it's crucial. And you know, when you take in the information for these grind ops, obviously you want to make sure you're ready. You have all the info to go over, and you want to be prepared. All right, because you never get a second chance to represent yourself. All right. So first off today, let's see what our grind op is today. First off, this is in the field of radio. This is radio announcer, responsible for writing, editing, and delivering newscasts, weather and traffic reports, and sports info. This is in Orlando, Florida. All right. So let's see if I can pull out a little bit more information. Must be able to write and edit news copy, introductions, public service announcements. Bilingual with Spanish is desired but not required. Perfect for our radio grads looking to continue their craft with an on-air position. Okay, so again, this is one of those grind ops that I can look at and say you definitely want to be polished in the area of writing. You know, you want to make sure your text, right? You know, all the details of that is pretty on point, because you'll be editing news copy. All right, so that's the no room for error on that one. Public service announcements, so you got to know how to talk. You know, everybody in these kind of fields always say, you know, does my voice got to be? Well, it does help. You know, a cool voice always makes the ear tune in a little better. So definitely something to think about. It sounds like if you're bilingual and know Spanish, that's a bonus. I wish my Spanish was on point, when unfortunately, you know, my parents held out on me in the household. They didn't speak it, so I'm a little late in the game. All right, but doesn't mean you can't still take a stab at this opportunity. Perfect for our radio grads looking to continue their craft with an on-air position. So radio grads from the Recording Connection, this is definitely a great opportunity for you guys. All right. So we're going to move on to grind up number 2. Grind up number 2, this is in the field of recording. Live sound engineer. Large music venue and recording studio seeks sound engineer for their live venue. This is in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, I always get grind ups when they come up to Nashville because Nashville is a very select group to be welcomed in. Nashville has a lot of great engineers, a lot of great studios, a lot of great musicians. Very tight circuit, but it's one of those circuits. If you can make some noise and get embraced, you will be working for a very long time. All right, it's a really small group of folks, but they don't just let anybody in. So you definitely personality, humbleness, all those things come into play in this type of environment. All right, and your skill and your experience. So let me give you a couple of details for this particular job. Live sound engineer in Nashville. Sound engineer to record live performances in the venue recording studio will be responsible for setup, troubleshooting, and all engineering during performance and recording. Live sound experience highly desirable but not necessary. Perfect for any grads who had any live sound experience during the program or a master's graduates who focus on live sound. So again, this is another one of those grind ops. It sounds like you need to have some definite experience in. All right. Like I said, it's pretty self-explanatory as far as what you need to have down. But like again, I said, it's a very tight circuit here, and if you can get in, you'll be able to have work throughout the years here. That's how Nashville gets down. All right. Let's move on to the next grind up. This is grind up number 3. This is in the field of recording. Paid audio internship. Top Miami recording studio seeks paid intern, assistant engineer, must know Pro Tools. All right. That's actually a great opportunity because it's a paid internship. Most internships nowadays don't pay. And this is in Miami. I was just in Miami before I headed to Cuba, and it was beautiful out there. So let's see. One of the largest recording studios in Miami seeks paid internship with a strong chance of moving from an internship to a full paid position. Perfect for an on-air audio graduates. All right. A couple of typos there, team. So obviously this is perfect for a couple of the recording connection audio graduates. Says one of the largest studios in Miami. Those studios out there, well, the key studios in Miami are really big and they get a lot of traffic. So this is definitely a great opportunity for anybody who's in the field of, engineering and recording. And it's obviously saying that you can move from an internship paid bracket to a full paid position bracket. So that's a great opportunity, guys. Not too many paying internships out there. All right. So you definitely want to make sure, you take a stab at that one for those of you who are aspiring engineers. All right. Moving on to grind up number 4. Grind up number 4. This is in the field of radio, podcast, audio producer. Top podcast house seeks producer to schedule production, wrangle guests, and edit shows. And this is in Philadelphia, PA. Man, I love Philly. I was just on a flight with a cat from Philly. We were talking music, and that conversation was going on. Could go on longer than it was. All right, so this is largest podcast producers looking for a full-time audio producer. This is perfect opportunity for an on-air radio graduate who are looking to work behind the scenes as opposed to on air. Well, that's kind of cool. Behind the scenes means it's pretty, behind the curtain. It's a large podcast producer. So it's, audio producer that can range from anything from, recording audio to tweaking audio to, sound creation. But they're definitely looking for somebody who has a bit of experience under the belt in that role. All right. So that's something cool. There's not a whole lot of information on that particular job out, but it's pretty much self-explanatory. Audio producer, you'll be producing audio, creating audio content. All right, we're gonna move on to grind out number 5. I hope you all are staying with me because I always tell folks you gotta stick with me because that link is gonna come up on the right side of your screen, which is only place you can apply for these gigs. All right, so stay with me. You'll see that shortly. Grind out number 5. This is in script coverage. Production company seeks the right person for script coverage and analysis on a large volume basis. This is in Los Angeles, California, my backyard. All right, let me see if I can give you a little bit more info on that. Script coverage must have some form of coverage experience on their resume. Length and size of experience isn't as important. Perfect for a screenwriting student, graduate who is looking to become more involved in the writing process and expanding their skill set. Now, these are the kind of grind ups I love because it offers creativity. It invites thoughts, concepts, ideas. I know a lot of folks watch are more or less the creatives and creators, but this is great for a screenwriting student graduate. So Recording Connection, we got any screenwriting graduates out there? This one would be great for you. And they're wanting this person to become more involved in the writing process and expanding their skill set. So this is really cool because it allows a creator to kind of dive in but grow. And I always say any job that's offering a position that consists of growth is definitely somewhere where you want to be and like to be, because it tells me there's longevity there. And there's not a whole lot of creative channels out there that allow you to grow and expand. So this is something really cool. This is definitely a great grind up. Obviously they're looking for coverage experience on their resume, and I always stress on my show that resumes are key. A lot of folks don't know how to put their resumes together these days. So like I always say, be honest on your resume. Don't oversell yourself and don't sell yourself short. List legit experience, and you'll be good. So that's definitely a great grind up script coverage. And again, that's in California, Los Angeles, California. All right. So with that being said, I hope you got all those notes, and you'll see on the right side of the screen, there's a link where you can apply for these jobs. So now I got one more treat to you, for you, that again my team put together, and this happens to be a little video of how we get down in Cuba, and all I can say was a lot of fun. All right, so check it out. So there you have it, folks. That was a little video that my team put together for you. Now, I usually do questions after the grind ops, but I wanted to save the questions till after the video we showed you, which was the one we just showed you of me jamming with my man Ush in Cuba. And that was actually an all-girls art school. So there was dance, acting, and percussion. Um, they did an opening presentation for us that consisted of about 10 girls on percussion, and it was amazing. What I loved about it too was the actual, I don't know if you saw the guy who was also playing the congos. He actually makes all the instruments, does all the carvings, does all the paintings, and he's incredible. And he's the actual teacher of this performing arts center here. And you know, it was great, man, because we just kind of got up there and just jammed. You know, there was no script. There was no rehearsal of any sort. We just got up there and played, and the cultures, we just came together. And I always say, you know, if there's any language that can unify us and unite us, it's always music. You know, music is that language that just pulls people together, no matter what the experience, no matter what differences. And just to be there was amazing experience. I was there for 3.5 days, but I would say about 4 days, and literally got off the plane and went to work immediately. I mean, I had banquets. I went to a block party in the ghetto where there's kids who, you know, were just making music on instruments they made. They were rapping. I mean, it was just amazing. And, you know, overall, it was just a great experience because I got to just experience another culture who is passionate about their arts. You know, it was just great. So with that being said, I'll take a couple of questions. Let's see here. How long should your resume be? Um, you know what, man? Your resume should just be to the point. Your experience. Not a lot. Like I say, I always tell you guys, not a lot of fluff, not a lot of stuff that's, you know, that is, you know, as someone who's hiring is going to look over and be like, let me know what your experience is. Let me know what time you put in. Let me know what school you're coming from. Let me know what jobs you worked previously, and help me understand how this resume pertains to the job I'm offering you. That's the key thing. All right, next question. How many days were in Cuba? Okay, well, I just said I was in 4. Did you bring back any cigars? Actually, I did. I brought back 2 cigars. I brought one back for my pops and one back for myself. Now in Cuba, they only let you bring back a total of $100 worth of goods. In other places, they allow you a lot more, but in Cuba, it's $100. So the cigars were $50 a pop, so I was only able to bring 2. Otherwise, I'd have brought more. Let's see if we have any other questions. How important is it to have relationships in the music business? Well, you know, relationships are key in the music business. But I think what engages those relationships is your networking skills. You know, people always ask, you know, is it this, is it that, you know, is it your music, is it social media, is it meeting people? It's everything. You know, it's not only just meeting people, but then it's having something to play for those people, something they can listen to. It's having drive, it's getting in your car. If you don't have a car, it's getting on the bus, going to the places where there's a lot of activity in the realms of what you're seeking to do. You know, it's a bit of everything, you know, and they all work together. You know, one day it might just be, you know, your networking and your conversation piece. The next day it might just be somebody heard a song that you did and you're in a meeting now. So it varies, man. It's a bit of everything. So, you know, I always tell people, be on your game, because, you know, these fields, whether live engineering, film, you know, there's no one specific way to, you know, create opportunity for yourself in these fields. It's a bit of everything. So, you know, guys, I hate to do it, man, but that is the gist of our show for today. I was very happy to make sure I was here today to bring back, you know, the most inspiring information I could about my experience in Cuba, because it was very inspiring for me as a creator, just, you know, as a human being. And I wanted to make sure I was able to share a bit of that with you. You can definitely follow and track us on our day-to-day on our social media, which is Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Our social media handles are is connected. Now, as the weeks come, I'm going to be definitely uh, documenting my days a whole lot more for you guys, so you guys can really see. I know I've posted a couple of things up there for you to see, whether I'm doing sound check or whether I'm on a flight headed or I'm in the studio, but I'm going to be bringing it to you a little more detail so that you can actually see uh, the intensity of what it is you sign up for. All right, because even with success comes comes no relaxation. All right, so you got to keep it going. You got to keep it going. So I'll be bringing you a lot more detail in the weeks to come. Shout out to the Recording Connection for offering this platform, for making it possible to bring you Is Connected. Shout out to my team, Mike, Howard, Brian. What's up, y'all? Wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. All right. Again, you catch us here every Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm your host, the one and only Is. Well, let's say DJ Is. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys next week. All right. So again, stay connected, stay hungry, and go get it. All right. Much love. Peace.